What started as a simple guest parking in front of my house turned into an instant arrest that shocked the entire neighborhood. Before we get into it, like the video, subscribe for more HOA and Karen stories, and hit the hype button so this story reaches everyone who loves real neighborhood drama. The day began like any other quiet afternoon in our HOA-controlled neighborhood. The streets were clean, lawns trimmed to regulation height, and the usual tension of unspoken rules hovered in the air. Anyone who lives in an HOA knows the feeling. Everything looks peaceful, but one wrong move can trigger chaos. I had invited a longtime friend over, someone who rarely visited and had no idea how strict the parking rules were rumored to be. The HOA handbook technically allowed street parking for guests, as long as it did not block driveways, fire hydrants, or mailboxes. My guest parked legally along the curb directly in front of my house. The car was positioned neatly, wheels aligned, nothing obstructed. It was the kind of parking job no one should ever notice. But in this neighborhood, someone always noticed. Karen had appointed herself the unofficial parking enforcer. She was not security, not law enforcement, and not even officially assigned by the HOA board. She simply believed the street belonged to her sense of authority. She had a long history of harassing delivery drivers, babysitters, and visiting relatives. Most people avoided confrontation with her because dealing with her was exhausting. Within minutes of my guest arriving, Karen appeared. She marched down the sidewalk with purpose, eyes locked on the car as if it were an invading force. Her body language was aggressive, shoulders stiff, steps fast. Neighbors peeked through blinds, already sensing drama. This was familiar territory for them. My guest stepped out of the car, unaware of the brewing storm. He was calm, relaxed, and focused on carrying a small bag toward my front door. Karen closed the distance quickly. Her gestures grew wild. She waved her arms and positioned herself between him and the sidewalk. The tension spiked instantly. What happened next crossed every line imaginable. Karen lunged forward and shoved my guest, claiming he had no right to be there. The shove was not accidental. It was forceful, intentional, and witnessed by multiple people. My guest stumbled backward, nearly falling into the curb. Shock replaced confusion in his expression. The neighborhood froze. This was no longer HOA drama. This was physical assault. I rushed outside as the situation unfolded. Other neighbors stepped out too. Phones were raised. Someone immediately called the police. Karen continued her aggressive behavior, pacing and pointing, convinced she was in the right. She acted as if she were untouchable, as if the rules she imagined gave her authority to use force. The police arrived faster than anyone expected. 2 patrol cars pulled up, lights flashing, drawing the attention of the entire block. Officers stepped out and assessed the scene. They separated everyone involved and began gathering information. My guest showed visible signs of being shaken, his balance still unsteady. Witnesses spoke up immediately. Multiple neighbors described exactly what they saw, all telling the same story. Karen's confidence began to crack. She tried to justify her actions through exaggerated claims and HOA rhetoric. She pointed at the car, the curb, the street, insisting rules had been violated. None of it mattered. Parking disputes do not justify physical contact. The officers made that clear through their actions. Body camera footage recorded everything. Witness videos were offered without hesitation. The officers reviewed the evidence on the spot. The conclusion was immediate. Karen's behavior met the criteria for assault. No warnings were given, no long debates followed. Karen was placed under arrest right there on the street. The neighborhood watched in stunned silence as the reality set in. The same woman who terrorized residents with clipboards and complaints was now being escorted to a patrol car. Her earlier bravado vanished, replaced with disbelief. The sound of handcuffs clicking echoed louder than any argument she had ever made. My guest was checked by emergency responders. Thankfully, there were no serious injuries, just bruising and shock. He gave his statement calmly and clearly. The officers thanked the witnesses for stepping forward. They explained that HOA rules never override the law. Physical aggression is never acceptable, no matter how justified someone believes themselves to be. News traveled fast. By evening, the entire neighborhood knew what happened. Group chats exploded. People who had stayed silent for years finally spoke up. Stories surfaced about past harassment, intimidation, and threats. Karen's pattern of behavior became impossible to ignore. The HOA board acted quickly. An emergency meeting was scheduled. Karen was suspended from all HOA involvement pending the outcome of her legal case. Her self-appointed authority was officially stripped away. The board issued a notice reminding residents that disputes must be handled through proper channels and never through confrontation. Karen's arrest had ripple effects. Neighbors felt safer. Guests parked without fear. Delivery drivers stopped avoiding the street. A sense of relief settled over the community. The unspoken tension lifted. The legal process moved forward. Karen faced charges for assault. Court dates were scheduled. Restraining orders were discussed. The consequences she never imagined became very real. Her actions over a parking spot changed her life in an instant. The irony was not lost on anyone. All of this happened over a car parked legally for a short visit. A moment of unchecked entitlement destroyed years of perceived control. The neighborhood learned a powerful lesson about boundaries and accountability. My guest eventually laughed about the absurdity of it all, though the experience stayed with him. He said he had never seen someone lose everything so quickly over something so small. I agree. HOA rules are meant to maintain order, not create tyrants. In the weeks that followed, the street became calmer. People smiled more, kids played outside without parents worrying about confrontations. The absence of constant policing made the neighborhood feel like a community again. Karen's house remained quiet. Curtains drawn, no more patrols, no more confrontations, just silence where chaos once thrived. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more HOA and Karen stories, and hit the hype button to keep these real neighborhood dramas coming. And comment below which country you're watching from.